All right, Brian here with Straight Blast Gym of Bend, and I want to talk about what's in my bag. So I often will have to travel for jiu-jitsu or work or whatever the case is, and I always have a gear bag packed for training, right? I will normally, not travel with as many clothes so that I can actually have gear to train with. So I think the first thing that I want to say is like, what bag am I using? So I use the Datsusara Battle Pack bag. I honestly think that that thing is one of the best pieces of equipment you can buy and it will last forever. This one has been beaten up. Chris gave me this. It had been damaged in production. And so he gave it to me for free. You guys should definitely go out and buy one though. I need to actually buy a new one off of him because this is a very old model. And so I'll pop this guy open and kind of go through what I've got in here. So if I'm traveling, I will always have my gi with me. In fact, anyone that drives in my car knows that there's a backup gi in my car at all times, which is a weird thing to do, but that's how I am. You never know when you're gonna need to do jiu-jitsu. You can just stop and be like, oh, it's time to do jiu-jitsu. 16-ounce gloves, right? Good, clean 16-ounce gloves. 16 ounce should be the industry standard. And if I show up to someone else's gym, I want to be wearing gloves that are safe for not only myself, but for the training partners that I'm working with, right? If I go down to Florida and I'm training with the jungle or something like that, I want to make sure that I'm respecting their students just the same way that I'd be respecting my students on the mat. And so 16-ounce gloves, shin pads, and not the sock shin pads. Those things are cheap, right? They don't block checks very well. Like, no one wants to get kicked with those. If you're gonna do any real sparring, you should probably get some real equipment. Pay good money, you get what you pay for. These shin pads are over a decade old, and they still suffice, which leads me into my shell trainers, right? I don't spar in 4-ounce gloves. I don't let people punch me in 4-ounce gloves. These shell trainers keep their fingers away from my eyeballs and keep me safe, right? They're also a lot safer for my partner. I have a backup pair that are brand new in case a gym says, hey, we don't want your old ass shell trainers. This has happened at gyms and I will respect their wishes when it comes to what I'm training in. So if I have to, get some newer gear just to keep up with them, but these are kind of my good luck charm. So I like these things. Rash guard. So I wear a rash guard top and bottom because I like to be able to train with females and make sure that females feel comfortable training with me. Right? I try to limit skin-on-skin contact as much as possible now that I'm a coach. It's especially true, but John Franco was the person that really kind of turned me on to this idea of having long sleeve rash guards, long sleeve spats and those sorts of things to minimize skin-on-skin contact. That being said, you guys do you, right? If that's not the way that you want to roll, I just think it makes females more comfortable when you're rolling with them if you're not just sweating all over them. So there's that. Always have a pair of fight shorts. Hand wraps, right? I prefer the long hand wraps and the non-elastic hand wraps. I think that they work better. I've had these hand wraps for as long as I've had most of this fight gear, so since I was late stage white belt, early blue belt, 10 years now. And so once again, you get what you pay for. Stuff you get a big 5 is probably gonna wear out pretty quickly. And then there's a couple of little like emergency safety things. I don't keep a full first aid kit in here, but new skin will definitely fix a lot of the cuts you get. So you get little cuts and scrapes, either playing gi, no gi, it doesn't really matter. You bang heads, right? These things save your ass. And so I'm a bleeder. Anyone that's ever watched me fight knows that I'm a bleeder. So I really think that the new skin is huge. Fingernail clippers. Get a good pair. If you have to, tie a string to it and tie it to your bag so it doesn't leave it. This one doesn't have a string, but the ones in my gym are tied to the actual basket that they're sitting next to the trash can so that people don't walk off with them, right? These ones are really nice. These ones are mine. I keep them with me at all times. And then finally, if I'm going to, and I don't do this much anymore, spar with elbows. I have elbow pads. So I use volleyball elbow pads. This prevents people from getting cut. I don't spar hard enough anymore to wear headgear. If I got invited somewhere and they were like, hey, bring your headgear, I would do that. The other thing that's not in here, because I honestly don't know where it went. It might be in one of these pockets, is my mouthpiece, right? Obviously, if you're gonna spar, I think that in jiu-jitsu, you want a soft mouthpiece. You don't want to get choked with a hard mouthpiece. It's very painful for your teeth. And then if you're boxing, doing Muay Thai, you probably want a hard mouthpiece. They just protect against concussions better, protect your teeth better. So that is what's in my bag. Thank you guys.